Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Old Ladies Lift Chat. I am one of your hosts, Laarni Mulvey, the Power Lady, and I am here with my other host over on this side of
Every
me.
time. Yeah, I'm Chandler Mars. I am the founder, creator, whatever of Old Ladies Lift, the premier, absolute best site for older women who lift freaking heavy every day. We have a website, oldladieslift.com. We have a private Facebook group to share our struggles and our accomplishments. And of course, we have this YouTube channel. So follow us, join us, do whatever, but lift heavy.
So today we have one of our amazing members, Linda Franklin. She is on with us today, giving us a few minutes of her time. And what I would love to start talking about is just introducing who you are, Linda. Let us know where you're at, where you're from, and what's going on with you.
Okay, well, nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me. This is so awesome. So I'm a California girl, lived here all my life. I'm living in Northern California. I've been in the construction business for 4 decades, and hopefully we're done with that now. But so I started powerlifting 4 years ago as of this month.
Wow.
And yeah, it's
4 years ago?
Well, you did CrossFit before, so you have to.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a long CrossFit career because it beat me up pretty badly. But so anyway, I'm preparing for IPL Worlds in November next month. It's like about 3 or 4 or 5 weeks away. And so I just train out of my garage. I have a garage gym. I did have a previous membership, but with everything that's been going on, I decided to outfit my gym and got a great deal on some equipment out of a storage unit. So it was my end to keep moving. I got very fortunate to find what I did. So anyway.
That's cool. I think a lot of us, when everything shut down, we were like struggling. We're like, oh, we need to buy stuff. So that's awesome that you still train in your garage gym that you built. My basement gym is collecting a little bit of dust right now, but that's okay. Because we can go out and go to our gym and everything, but it's that just in case, just in case it happens again. But my husband uses it a lot more than I do, but who knows, maybe in the next few months everything will change again. Who knows?
Yeah, and the gym selections here are not fantastic. I live in a small rural, I wouldn't say it's rural community, but where I have to travel to go to the gym I want to go to is 30 minutes away up a country logging road and stuff. And I'm just like, I typically train by myself anyway, always have. So I'm good.
I think the benefits of the home gym, there are multiple benefits. It's an adjustment, that's for sure. Learning how to lift heavy by yourself is an adjustment, but control the music, which is cool. Lift in your pajamas.
Yes.
And you can lift any time of day or night that you want.
And also bathroom privileges.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I keep
forgetting. Oh my God.
I wondered how I'm going to go back to a regular gym or to my coach's garage gym where we don't have bathroom access. I've become quite accustomed to,
Yes.
Yeah. That's a big deal. Anyway.
So Linda, what made you do the shift from CrossFit to a strength sport like powerlifting?
Well, my brother got me into CrossFit. He was a 4 to 5 times games competitor in Masters, very right at the top. And he had a big CrossFit box in Central California. So I saw his success and decided, he just kept telling me, you should try it. So I did. And within it, it was really only a 2-year span. I had been lifting weights I had a little tiny setup in my garage doing bro stuff. But anyway, the CrossFit thing just bit me big. And I just, drank the juice and went for it and worked out 5 to 6 days a week. I rode a non-geared bike up and down hills to get there. I was just crazy, So I did that, and I started feeling like I could do the CrossFit Open, and I thought, well, why not give it a try? And that was Masters 55 to 59. And that was in 2014. And I did it And just over time I think, I can't say it's all attributed to CrossFit. Some of it is partly that I've been type 1 diabetic for almost 40 years, but the excessive gripping over and over and over again with my hands, my fingers started to trigger. And it started to become really painful doing, the excessive pull-ups and it was mostly pull-ups that really got me. And it got to the point where I literally couldn't touch my hands on anything. It'd be so painful. I couldn't bend my finger, or they would be, they were all locked up, every single one of them. So, and it's partly due to diabetes, of course, but I think CrossFit just pushed me over the edge. I did compete in the 2014 Open and placed 40th worldwide. Woo! I did well, but, that was it. And so I was done with that and did a few things after that, but I went to a surgeon in LA, UCLA, and he said, all of your fingers need to be released. And so we did 4 on one hand, 2 on the other, 2 on the other, and then my thumbs were last. But the first 4 on my left hand, which I'm left-handed, very dominant left, I almost lost use of my left hand as far as gripping goes. And I still have trouble picking up small things with my fingertips. My palms are strong, but when it comes to the ends of my fingers, the strength starts going out the window. So I think basically holding onto a barbell is a different thing. CrossFit and powerlifting are different in that way, that I figured out a way I could, after surgeries, and then I had a torn bicep tendon. So within about a 1.5 to 2 month period, I had 4 hand surgeries and my bicep tendon reattached, my shoulder cleaned up a little bit. And from there, I started to recover. I followed the therapy. It was a long, long recovery, almost a year with my hands, and did all kinds of crazy stuff to try to get the movement back. And decided, I talked to my brother and he said, you should try powerlifting, and I said, well, how would I bench? How can I hold the bar? It's going to end up in my face, because you have, I had the death grip. So I thought, well, I could try it. So basically stayed away from that and tried squat for a bit. Deadlift was going to be a challenge because, holding on to heavy and pulling was a big challenge. So I started with straps and I worked my way out of them. And it did take quite a bit of time, but it was a long, long haul. And then about a year later, they found a mole on my arm that needed to be looked at, and they took it out and found out it was melanoma. So, and after I got my bicep back, they went and took the middle part of it out. I'm like, gee, thanks. And so, 22 stitches later across my arm, here I am, thinking, oh my God, okay, so now I can't even do a push-up. I can't do anything. And so little by little, I just worked my way through it. It just took a lot of therapy, and patience, was the big challenge, and not to get down mentally, because it was a really rough period. But I met my coach through an online group, and he's also diabetic. And it was really great because he's had a lot of injuries and he knew how to help me get through it. And it was a good match for us. So that's what I did. I followed everything he said, just like a good patient would, or a good client. Did all the routines and had my hands in buckets of sand and, massaging the sand, and ice and cold or hot baths with my hands. And we worked through it and finally got through it. So it took a while.
You came out the other side probably stronger than before.
I actually did. Yeah. I think that I did, both mentally and physically, for sure. Because mentally I was like, what am I going to do? I started walking a lot during this time just to keep blood sugar control. And stuff. But it was long beach walks, and I get pretty depressed at times, but I just, every day I'd come home and I'd try to do a little bit of a push up, and day after day, I'd just get a little more and more. And I thought, okay, just got to keep at it, So.
I love that. I mean, it's because I'm a diabetic too. It runs in my family. I just found out I just found out I was diabetic maybe like 2-3 years ago.
Oh gosh.
And my father died of diabetic complications. My mother, we didn't find out she was a diabetic really until she was dead. Until she's like, oh, did you know your mother was diabetic? We're like, what? So
yeah, I lost my mother to diabetes too.
Oh goodness.
And I mean, I hate to throw myself in like the Asian bus, but like, we're rice people. We love rice, and it's like something that we have. I grew up eating at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it was like, who knew when I moved to the States that rice is going to be like something that I had to tailor of not eating or just a little bit or whatever. And so I'm so glad that I found out, because I do make sure that I'm active and eating as well as I can. I need to.
Yeah. Hey, I have my days too. I love ice cream. So, but the part of that whole picture is, as with any disease or chronic illness, is consistency. And you have to be dedicated, because I know that over time, I train 4 days a week, and those days spill out into 7 days a week of better control. My body knows what to expect. I go in on a Monday, do my squats, Wednesday bench, Friday or deadlift, and then Saturday I do all the other stuff. But my body on those rest days is having a residual effect from all the workout that I do. So it's definitely improved my control overall. And I think it probably, I can't say for any other chronic illness, but I think stress is a factor too with all chronic illnesses. And I think just relieving the stress and keeping active definitely helps.
It's a big part of it. I think I say this often. Sometimes I'm just grateful that I can go into our living room, which is our gym, and just lift. Particularly this last couple of years where everything's been shut down and the world has been kind of spinning a little bit out of control. The ability to just go in and lift something heavy is wonderful. And I never thought, my husband teases me because I buy a lot of gym toys now. But I never thought I would be a person that has a home gym. Not that I didn't think I might lift or exercise, or I never thought I would enjoy being alone and lifting. And I had never had a hobby before, that lifting is not technically a hobby. It kind of is, because I have so much fun, not only lifting, but buying gym toys, frankly.
Yeah,
I have more room.
I have some new toys here too, but my husband doesn't know.
Oh, well.
He will in a minute.
Tucked away here and there. All of a sudden, the new banner's on the wall. What?
Yeah.
But, it's part of our environment, where, we want to be healthy and strong, and we got to make it fun too. I mean, it is already fun, but it's our space. It's our time to really get into it and feel good about what we're doing.
And it kind of takes the world away for a little bit of time.
Yeah, I totally agree, Chandler. It's like when I go, my husband came and trained with me for about 2 weeks, and it was like he was like, what are you like? Nobody, we weren't talking to each other. We were in the same small building, but like my coach was talking to me, and then he came in and like was doing like the strongman stuff with me, but then we never talked to each other. They're like, don't you guys talk while you're working out together? I'm like, we don't even train in the same facility. I go to one place, he goes to another place. You put us together in a room, and I'm sorry, I'm focused. I need to do my shit. I need to do my shit, and he can do it.
Yeah. And I think that's partly, I'm that way, and I have been ever since I started lifting weights. I've always trained alone. And, the gyms that I go to here, there are a few older women, but they're in the aerobics room, or there's really, it was a very small town, but I was the only one. I was working out with the younger guys, and stuff. So, which I don't care, but I'm super focused, unless I see someone I haven't seen for a while, we'll chat a little. But other than that, I try to stay focused because I'm pretty regimented and strict with myself for rest times and all that other stuff, and don't want to be interrupted.
Yeah, no,
But
I get that. I
But
have
if I
that.
were around more women that power lifted too, that were in, I think it would be a little bit different, but I just have never had the opportunity.
I really haven't either. So I had CrossFit like you did, and that's how I got into lifting. But then I worked out with my coach in his garage, and there were a couple older women that did exercise relative lifting, but not lifting, powerlifting. And then mostly it was men that he coached. And so while it was great, and I miss it, I think there is something that I've enjoyed in this last 2 years about learning what I can do on my own, and learning that I can lift these things and not to be afraid. Because I pulled a PR in December on my own, and literally on my own, all alone. Nobody was
cheering you on. Nobody's like, come on, Chandler.
Yeah. And so that's kind of mentally, that's kind of cool. But I would love to, it would be my dream to have a women's powerlifting team where at least, once a week you could train with other women. And I think that would be wonderful.
Yes, it would be. And, it's all the meets I've done. I've done 7, and I think 3 of those had another master woman in them, or 2 that not even were in my group, but except until I got to nationals in July. And I had 2 women in my age group weight class, which was like phenomenal. I was so excited. And then although, there was only 3 of us, the amount of powerlifting women there that were masters was just, I was blown away.
Yeah.
It was so great to have that community. I love being around younger people and stuff, but there's something that we acquire with age, and that's we all look at each other knowing that, we've all been through a lot. And I think there's just a different feeling towards each other that we can respect. So,
I agree. And that's why we started the Facebook group and everything else, was so that we could talk to each other. It's mainly so I could talk to y'all, because I was quite lonely.
Yeah. I get it. I do. Yeah.
I wanted
for me too, when I was diabetic, diagnosed in 1982, I was all by myself for a very, very long time until a Facebook group started. And then I have so many friends now that are also, I know, powerlifting women that are type 1, and it just created this sense of a huge sense of community, but also a safety net.
Exactly. I think that's important, and we don't have that as women in general, particularly in strength sports. And so I think that's one of the unique things about what we're doing here, is allowing people to share their struggles, share their accomplishments, and get support.
Yeah.
So Linda, Chandler was telling me, like, off before you hopped on, like, she was telling me a story about you squatting and
when your blood sugar crashed. Remember that squat? Oh, something went haywire. It was about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Where I
all wobbly in the middle of it because scared the crap out of me.
It actually, I posted the video on Instagram, and I had a few, the emoji with the mouth wide open, bright eyes. I was like, oh my God, what are you doing, you idiot? But it just happens, all of a sudden. And I missed not the safeties, but I can't even think what the clips all of a sudden. And it was just, like this with the bar. Luckily it wasn't hugely heavy, but I recovered. And there are times when I train and I start to drop and I have to stop and sit here, drink a juice, wait, and then I can get back to it. But every time I have lows like that, it sets me back. not just for that training session, but it's really not good to train after a bad low for at least a day. And I break those rules a lot because I have a mission. But, you know, I mean, they're not severe because of all the technology that I have now. So it's better. But that was a scary moment. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. That's, I am just amazed at how you have transformed, you know, your, this chronic illness that we have, and you just continue to push forward. You know, it doesn't stop you from continuing to compete. It doesn't stop you from training. It doesn't stop you. And I think that is a great message to be heard, because people can, you know, we get scared. Like when I was diagnosed, I was like, oh my God, I can't do anything. Like I really literally thought that I was like my, you know, the one thing that also ran in my family was diabetes with heart issues. So like I would go get, I would get my, I was being very proactive, and I got my heart checked and everything. And the cardiologist pretty much told me, like, you could lift some weights, but you need to do more cardio. That's what he told me. And I was just like, what the, that's not going to make me happy. And it's going to make me stressed. So like with ladies with our health issues, now that we're getting older, and diabetes, if you know, if some of us have diabetes, like, what is your advice for us?
My best advice is to find something that you love to do. That's an activity, exercise, move your body. And because if you don't love it, you're not going to stick with it, whether it's CrossFit or bodybuilding or powerlifting, whatever it is. I think that if you find a love, stick with it, because that is going to create consistency in your life, and you can stay more dedicated to it. And overall, that's going to help your health. And I find that just being in that mode of loving something, you look forward to doing it. You're not going to skip a day. I mean, I literally, the first room in our new house that was done was my half of the garage, you know, because that's my priority. And I know that I'll stay healthier if I do that, and I can continue to do everything else that I want to do. So find a love and go for it, you know, because it's really fulfilling. And you know, life is short, you know, we're here for, you know, today. And so I would say just go for it. Don't hold back.
I love that. That's why I love this group, Chandler, because when I first signed on to this group, I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I'll post stuff, maybe whatever. And really the group kind of like inspired me to like do more, you know, because I'm like, shoot. I mean, I'm a baby old lady, you know, I'm only like 44 right now. But like when I am in my 70s, 80s, you know, whatever, I still want to be powerlifting or doing a sport or something. I don't want to stop, because I think it is like my whole mental thing too, you know.
It is. Yeah, I've had some, you know how you sometimes get these thoughts like, oh God, what if this happens? How am I going to keep doing this? You know, like what if I lose my leg or whatever, because and then I thought, well, you know what? I could get this thing put on my leg and I could still lift. I mean, I've had thoughts like that, like I'm going to find a way, no matter what trips me up, I will find a way to get around it, you know, and do it anyway. There's got to be a way to modify and keep doing the things that you love. There always is, until
there isn't.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I hear women say, you know, I'm not ready yet for a meet or whatever. I wasn't ready. You know, I just wasn't ready. I didn't have a handler. Yeah. And you just commit and know that it's your first experience. It's not going to be, they're never perfect anyway, but just to be there and get the feel of what it's like, it's still going to make you nervous and you'll feel pressure, but with the community that's there, it'll be fine. You're going to be fine. There's never the perfect moment to do it. And just like anything else, there's never a perfect moment. You just have to lean in and and do it.
Do it.
Just
Yeah.
try.
And I think that's a good advice that we all need reminding about. I personally do, because, I haven't competed since the shutdowns. We've had a lot of health issues, both my husband and I, and it's just been postponing and postponing and postponing until everything resolves. And I get the feeling that things aren't going to resolve. So we might just,
Oh, no.
not not in that way.
Don't say that.
There are going to be ongoing stressors. Let's just put it that way. And there's not going to be a moment where I can say, okay, now I can do it. At least not in the near future. So it's good to be reminded that you just gotta sign up and do it.
Yeah.
Right. But also with, I mean, I don't know your specific situation, but like when my mother was dying of kidney failure, I was taking care of her, and I was in between, no, this was before all my surgeries. So I was CrossFitting still. And she lived in this little tiny apartment, and I would be doing burpees in the hallway while she was sleeping. I was doing like this burpee challenge because I'm a nut for one thing, but also it was
because who does burpees on their off time, really? I mean, that's
I'm one of those freaks that like them. There's certain things I really don't like, but I do like burpees, but I don't like
just
core.
Core. No, you had to pick burpees.
Yeah, I know. But, it was the only thing that I could do to get my heart rate up and try to stay while I was taking care of her. But, it was just all these little things. I don't know. I'm a very competitive person, and I just decided I can't sit still.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point too, where I'm just like, I can't sit still long enough to be like, okay, my mind starts to wander, like, oh, what's my next competition?
Yeah.
Like my mind starts to wander, and I'm just like, focus, Laarni, focus on your work. And then I'm just like, oh, well, let me just look at this. And
and that's what I think about at night. All the work I have to do, it doesn't bother me and keep me up at night. But my next workout, what if I try this? Well, I could do that. I think about the gym.
Yeah.
That's and I can't turn my brain off at night to sleep sometimes, because I'm thinking about, well, I really want to do this. And
well, in a way you're setting goals.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
Me,
yeah.
I have to have goals.
I have to too. I can't just work out.
It keeps it on task, and then obviously you're doing what you love, so it's hard not to think about it when you're doing other. There's times you'd have to take a break, but still,
Yeah,
it's a healthy addiction. That's for sure.
Healthy addiction. That is so true.
Well, and in the evenings, my husband and I watch powerlifting videos on YouTube. I mean, we're really, really nerdy. That's become our kind of, and the old guys. We're watching all the old guys like Louis Simmons and Dave Tate and all these guys. And the thing is, we don't drink, but we have a drinking game that we call it, because they all name drop. So every time one of them name drops, it's drink.
Oh my God.
And they name drop. I mean, I've gotten quite an education on who's who in powerlifting during this pandemic, because we're bored. We have nothing else to watch.
Yeah, right. But we're creating a new powerlifting history.
There you go. The women's
it's history. Really why I'm just so thankful that you started this group, because the growth, for one, is just phenomenal. But it just shows that women are really there's a lot more of us out there than anybody. It's almost like we're coming out of the closet here. We're creating a whole new thing. And what I really love is I have two daughters, 32 and 30, and they're, God, Mom, you're badass and all this. And then they're seeing all these other women that are, and I feel like we're just a huge uplifting community for this younger generation, that they know that they can do this too. And, we're in it for the duration. And I think we're setting a good example for the younger generation.
I agree. And both my children see me doing it. And my son lives here, so he lives with us, but my daughter does CrossFit in Wisconsin, but I can outlift her in a few lifts, and that's it.
You can brag about that too.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else, she kicks my butt, but there's a few lifts I can outlift her.
Oh yeah, I remember growing up, my mother jogged around the block one day because she just was reading something that's good for you. My dad scolded her for,
Oh,
you know, it was just wasn't it. This
it was
was
the
the
time. Yeah,
early
no,
60s. You know, women were not allowed to exercise,
Right.
and
that,
so
yeah, and I
it's
get
different
that,
now.
and I'm fortunate that my husband is crazy like I am. And so, you know, and speaking to yours, the lifting with your husband, there are pros and cons. I do like bench pressing with him though, because then he can spot me.
No, I like to do my thing, and he goes to his own gym. I go to my own gym. The only reason we came together because of the strongman equipment, you know. And it's funny because I was telling him, I say, don't you love it that I've talked you into doing a whole bunch of things you never thought you would do?
Well,
He only practiced strongman for 2 weeks and competed and came second.
oh my goodness.
Now that makes me mad.
Yeah, and that sucks. So I dragged my husband to CrossFit. That was, you know, and got him hooked on that. And so, yeah, so I make my husband do things he doesn't. Now he loves it.
Yeah,
So
Oh
that's
gosh.
great.
So as we're closing out today, Linda, what is your next competition? What are you training for? I watch you. I see you. I see you on Instagram. What are you
he's gonna
training
squat
for?
300. That's what she's
Yeah.
gonna do.
Oh, I
What
would
are
love
you
that.
doing?
I think that's a little ways away. I have to.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Easy as
So-
that pair of 275 looked.
It looks pretty good. Yeah. It always looks better than it feels.
I know,
you
it always feels heavy, you know.
So so I did nationals in July, and IPL Worlds. It's a drug tested. I'm doing the drug tested, which I typically do anyway. I'm doing that November 5th in a new weight class and a new age group. I'm going to be in the 65s to 69s and in the 72 kilogram class, which I'm really excited about. So that's going to be my next competition. And after that, I'm probably going to take a good 6 months off, all depending on, you know, if I spy something that looks interesting close by, I might do that. But for now, Worlds is a big deal, and I'm going to get to meet at least, I already know a couple women from the group, but I'm going to get to meet at least 3 others I haven't met yet. So there's going to be a nice handful of us.
Wow, yay.
Yeah, I'm so excited. You know, this is like, you know,
Y'all
great.
you need to get some pictures. You need to wear the old ladies lift shirts and get some great pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, so it's going to be a really great time. And I have a type 1 diabetic powerlifter who's flying out from Philadelphia, and we're rooming together and competing together. She was at USAPL, but decided she was on the team, and you know how that all went downhill. So
that's a conversation we should actually have on this podcast. All of the shenanigans going on with
it's complicated, very, very complicated.
Because I know a lot of us lift in the tested. A lot of us want to be in the tested because we've reached a point in our lives where just not going to do that other crap. All of those reps, it just doesn't make sense.
No.
And so I think that's a
Roundtable.
Roundtable. There you go. It's a round
Yeah, that
table.
would be a good discussion. I don't, it's very political. The Olympics is involved. There's just so much to it, but she ended up deciding, well, I can't compete for a while because I was on the benching team. So I'm going to California. I'm going to qualify for Worlds. So she just did a real quickie one last weekend, and she's coming out in a few weeks to do Worlds. She's an amazing lifter. Wow. So that'll be great. And she'll get to meet, and she's also a master. So I'm going to try to get her in the group, and maybe we'll see some other people we can corral in there too.
You know, we need to get more people coming into like watching and the Facebook page, but also the YouTube channel, because, you know, it's a great place. It's a great resource for people to see that we are still going strong. Doesn't matter, you know, like
how old you are. And that's the barriers we're breaking right there. And so, well, the Facebook group is fantastic because it's private and we get to talk amongst ourselves. The website and the YouTube is public so that other people can learn about what we do and can see all of this really badass women, all of these that are lifting these just astronomical weights, and doing it as if it's nothing. I mean, obviously it is hard and everybody's working their butts off, but I don't think we saw this even a few years ago. I mean, when I started this group is because there was no one like me. It was really a selfish move because there was no one like me out there lifting, and there was only a few in the meets at any given time, never anybody in my age and weight class. And I knew there had to be more women out there, and it turns out there's a lot of us. And so I think it's important that we all share our videos on YouTube so that coaches and other women can see what's possible with these age groups.
Right. And maybe, coaches. That's, another thing is just finding the right coach for our population is, I listen to podcasts and stuff, and I listened to one the other day where someone was saying, oh, just the ritual of warming up. You really don't need to warm up that much. You just go in and you just do a few reps of the squats that you're going to do at lighter weight. And I'm thinking to myself, no. You do not get it, because it's a different ball game once you
hit a certain age. It is, and there's a lot of prep work to lift, and there's a lot of prep work on your days off to maintain some sort of mobility and flexibility to do these things. And if you don't do it, it does kick you in the butt and makes it difficult. At least for me. I mean, and I am an unnatural squatter, a very unnatural squatter. And I know that if I skip, doing the mobility work, the stretching work, making sure all the parts and pieces are turned on and in the right place, that I can't even get anywhere near parallel. I'm 3 or 4 inches above. So, so it's different. And I think that's important. And I think as we grow this, at some point we'll be able to talk more about what it takes to be an older woman lifter in terms of the prep work that you do. So,
I have lower back problems that are never going to go away, and actually
SI joint.
The McGill 3 is I'm married to, and it's solved that, and deadlifting actually have solved a lot of it. It's never going to go away. I have I call them barnacles. They're on my lower spine, on my lumbar spine. I had an injury when I was really young playing dodgeball. I landed on my tailbone and it crushed the side of my thing. But anyway, so I've had issues deadlifting in the beginning with it, and it freezes up on me every 3 or 4 years. It gets crazy, and I end up, I've been to the hospital over it and stuff. But if I stick with the McGill 3 and keep my core as strong as I possibly can and keep deadlifting, it has almost made it. It's never going to go away, but it has made it so manageable now that I can.
Yeah, and I find that deadlifting is probably one of the best exercises for all. And my problems always come with the squat because I have twisty issues. I'm out on this side, that side. It's so that the weaves up, weaves down, but it ends up in terms when it gets to my lower back, it ends up in my right SI joint. Always goes in, and then because the way I twist, and so I do too also have to maintain all of those exercises. And deadlifting, I tend not to have a problem with it unless I've done something funky in the squat. And so but yes, all of the exercises,
all of the above.
All of the above. And I think we're not alone in that. I think if you ask any woman in this group, there's probably a lot of prep work that goes into before they even pick up the bar.
But that's something we have to do. That's preparation, getting us ready to do these awesome, amazingly huge, pretty much huge ass lifts. So,
these lifts deserve curse words. They are so amazing. You cannot describe them without cursing.
I try to keep it like all, don't cuss.
I try to too, but
I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I can't stop my.
gosh. All right. Well, on that note, so Linda, you're going to be doing worlds here in November, which is really cool. I can't wait to see some awesome video coming from that. And then, the type 1 diabetes, is there a group? Is there like a separate group that
There is.
People want to chime in or take a look as another resource? Like for me, I definitely want to take a look. So is there, is there another group?
Yeah, there is. Actually, I was at admin on type 1. It's for type 1 diabetics. It's type 1 diabetic athletes group. And there's every type of athletics in the group that you can possibly imagine. Equestrian, powerlifting, archery, kayaking, you name it. But it's a hugely inspiring group. It grew. I was admin there for 7 years. I finally retired from that. I had other stuff I had to do. So just actually about 6 months ago. So, but it's a private group also, so that you can keep, it's basically just like Old Ladies Lift, where, it's a safe place to be, to share things. A lot of young type 1s, little kids, are there doing athletics and stuff. It's really hugely inspiring. So that, out of all the groups on Facebook, is probably the number one.
Awesome. I'll make sure to put all that stuff, all this information on the YouTube description page. And, if anybody wants to talk to you personally about it, do you mind if I share like your Instagram handle and people can send you messages about it?
Absolutely. In fact, I get DM'd quite frequently from older ladies, wanting to know how I warm up and all this other stuff. And I just try to, have chats. I just contacted a younger type 1 diabetic who wants to start powerlifting, and we ended up talking on the phone for probably an hour. So I'm more than happy to.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll make sure to put all that information on the description of the Old Ladies Lift YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, I'm getting tongue tied again, Chandler. You're going to have to take us out of the podcast. So
good luck with that. So, am I taking it? Okay, I'm taking it out. Okay, this has been Old Ladies Lift, where age is inevitable and weakness is not. Be sure you find us on Facebook, find our website, and like and subscribe here on YouTube. Oh, yes. And as she tells me, we have t-shirts. I didn't wear one of my Old Ladies Lift t-shirts, but on our website, there are a number of great t-shirts, and there's a couple bags and a sweatshirt and miscellaneous stuff so that you can go out and be old and proud.
So I will make sure to put all those links on the YouTube channel so you guys can check us out and watch all the other episodes of Old Ladies Lift Chat as well, because they are out live and available for you all to reference and be inspired by. So on behalf of Chandler Mars, I'm Laarni Mulvey. Thank you, Linda Franklin, for being our guest today on Old Ladies Lift Chat. And what?
That's it.
That's it.
See y'all later.
See you guys on the next episode of Old Ladies Lift Chat, and we will talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.